Sir, can we do stop slide presentation, sir?
Yeah, stop பண்ணிடுங்க. Stop தான் இருக்கு.
Okay. Yeah, please start, Krishna.
With warm greetings, I extend my warmest welcome to each and everyone invited here. I am Sai Krishnan, doing my second year in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at Chennai Institute of Technology. We are analog beings living in a digital world facing a quantum future. Chennai Institute of Technology, the college, has not left any stones unturned in making its students worthy citizens. The time as a caterpillar has expired and the wings are ready. Yes, it's about transforming lives. It's been just 10 years since CIT has stepped in, but the victories of CIT are huge. It is indeed a privilege for all of us to get the opportunity of attending this webinars. To be short and crisp, yes, it is all about Knowledge 4.0. Today, we have our expert, Dr. N. Sundararajan from NTU Singapore, and our organizing secretary, Dr. R. Dhanagopal. I feel much pleasure in welcoming you all. Sir, now I request Dr. R. Dhanagopal sir to give an introduction about our chief guest.
So, good morning and welcome back you all for third day of FDP. Today, and also I welcome Dr. Sundarajan sir. Today we have a session how to write effective research paper. Yeah, today it's not like last 2 days. Today we have some interactive session also. Yeah, I will show how to you can talk with us. So you have one button, request to speak. You just press that button. I will enable here. You can talk with us. Sir will ask some question. You can answer for that. Otherwise, if you have any doubt, you can just give a request. I will enable. I will tell that name of the faculty. That faculty they can talk with us. Right. Introduce about Sai Krishna. Introduce about sir.
Yes, yes. Speaker's profile. Dr. Narasimhan Sundararajan received the BE in Electrical Engineering with first class honors from the Aragappa Chettiar College of Engineering and Technology, Karaikudi, University of Madras in 1966. He got his MTech from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras in 1968 and PhD in Electrical Engineering from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign in 1971. From 1972 to 1981, he worked in the Indian Space Research Organisation, Trivandrum, India, starting as a control system designer to director, Launch Vehicle Design Group, contributing to the design and development of the Indian satellite launch vehicles SLV-3, ASLV, PSLV, and GSLV. He worked as a project engineer for the first Indian satellite launch vehicle project SLV-3 team, working directly under Dr. Kalam. He was also a NRC Research Associate at NASA Ames in 1974 and a Senior NRC Research Associate at NASA Langley in 1981 to 86 under the National Academy of Sciences USA program. From February 1991, he worked in the School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Nanyang Technological University, Singapore as a professor and retired from that position in July 2010. During 2010 to 2012, he was an emeritus visiting professor at the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Trivandrum, India. From February 2013 to February 2014-15, he was a senior research fellow in the School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, NTU Singapore. From October 2015 to June 2018, he was working as a senior research fellow in the School of Computer Engineering, NTU Singapore, working on air traffic management research problems. He was also a professor, I.G. Sharma Memorial ADRB professor, and endowed visiting professor at the School of Computer Science and Automation, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, India, during November 2002 to February 2003. Dr. Sundararajan is a life fellow of IEEE, an associate fellow of AIAA, and also a fellow of the Institution of Engineers, Singapore. He was an associate editor for IEEE Trans on Control Systems Engineering Technology, IFSC Journal on Control Engineering Practice, IEEE Robotics and Automation Magazine, and for Control Theory and Advanced Technology, Japan. He was also a member of the Board of Governor for the IEEE Control System Society for 2005. He has contributed as a program committee member in a number of international conferences and was the general chairman for the 6th International Conference on Automation, Robotics, Control and Computer Vision, ICRCV 2000, held in Singapore on December 2000. So, without any further ado, I request our speaker to take over the session. Thank you, sir.
First of all, thank you for the nice big introduction. I thought you will reduce it. First of all, to all the participants, welcome, good morning. I'm very happy to be here. I wish to thank the management of Chennai Institute of Technology and EC department, and Professor Malati and our coordinator for helping me to get this through. So first I wish to acknowledge that. Then we proceed. So today's talk, sir, can I have the slides? Yeah. Start presentation. Okay. Let me start. Can you switch to my slides? Is it coming? Okay. So the topic for today's talk is guidelines for writing an effective research paper, right? Most of you, either research scholars or faculty working, and in your research work, you will be writing papers, and generally the papers writing is not that easy. Doing the work is easy. Writing a paper that gets accepted is very difficult. So I want to spend time on this, and I'm not here to advise. I'm not going to say do this, don't do this and all. Then it will be boring subject. So best way to do this kind of talk is interaction. That's what Professor was telling earlier. So I will ask questions, you can respond, and you can tell the practices you are doing now. I will get some opinions, not everybody, but 2 or 3 opinions. And from that, I will say which way is the best way. And most of the time, what I hear is not the right way. Yeah. So that is the idea. So if you have any doubts, any questions, don't feel shy. Please participate. And of course, we can't do this very often during presentation. At some critical points, we have to do it. But we will have enough time in the end. We can have a one free for all session at the end, question and answer. But here, respond to whatever I am saying. And also, if you have anything, you don't like what I'm saying and you have a different view, maybe as the professor indicated, you can give me a feedback by talking. Okay. So with that guideline, let's start. So as you see in my first slide, you have my email. It's very simple. My name is N. Sundararajan. So they have truncated that, N. Sundara. And they put a E in front because it is E, electrical engineer. That is the coding. You don't have to remember or note down this email, but I'm just saying the easy way to remember is N. Sundara with a E in front, Gmail. Why that is important is, you may not be writing a paper now, you may be writing sometime later during your progression. At that time, you may get a doubt. So you can always send me a mail and I will respond. So nowadays I'm saying, we do a lot of collaboration like that over the net. So you are not very away, you are just a keystroke away. Any question, any doubt you have, you can send me a mail. Now let's go to the topic. So I'm going to ask questions. That's why I told the professor to be ready. The first thing I am going to start, we are putting the title as research paper, right? Very simple question. You are all doing research. My first question is, what is research? Okay, think about it. Suppose you are working in a college or a research IIT and all. You are going home. Your father is not in that area. He is asking you, "Arey guy, what are you doing?" And you say, "I am doing research." Then he says, no, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you explain? How will you explain to a layman what is research? That's what I'm asking. I'm not asking for a definition exactly. Your idea of what is research. Okay? That is the first question. Second question is, once you have done research, you are writing a paper. Okay? What is really a research paper? In that sense that, why are you writing a paper? See, you have done research, right? What is that? It's important to write a research paper. You should know all this before you start writing this. Why are you writing the research paper? I am writing this to do something, right? What is it? That is the second point. Third point is, what do you mean by effective research paper? Yeah, you can write a paper. If nobody reads it, what is the use? I call this kind of paper as write-only papers. What do you mean by write-only? You write, nobody reads. Then what is the point of writing a paper? Of course, in your CV, you will say, I have 10 papers. Okay? But who is reading? Nobody is reading. So what is the use? Okay? Now you get the idea of an effective research paper. Effective research paper is a paper where people are using it to progress further. What is the indication for that? Right indication is citation, right? If more people are using and then going further in that area, that means you have written an effective research paper. So the question is, you had to, first of all, you had to do your research. Then you had to write a paper, and the paper should also be effective. That's what we are going to discuss. Okay, is that clear? Now we will start. Okay, the overall talk is like this. So I'm giving you advanced warning now. The first question is, what is research? I want to get some opinions here. Then what is a research paper? Okay, why are you writing a paper? Then, of course, I gave the answer for the last one. What is an effective research paper? We will discuss that. Once we are clear on the goal, then we get into the detail. Okay, what are the steps? How do you write a paper? Okay, so some steps are given here: preparing and organizing. You can see it, composing and revision. But the real point is revision. I will come to that later. Is that clear? Okay. The next one, I go the next one. What is research? You're all doing research, right? Either faculty or research scholar or even a research project you are doing. I want to get some opinion. What do you think is research? Can I have some answers?
Kindly give request to speak. I will enable here. Anybody will
Your ideas are okay. Your ideas. I don't want your definition. In your mind, what is research?
Dear participants, give request to speak. I will enable. You can talk with us. Yeah, Savina.
You please identify yourself and also the.
Savina ma'am, I enable you. You can talk. Sabina. Sabina ma'am, I enable you. You can talk now.
No?
Then R Kalpana ma'am, I enable you. You can talk. R Kalpana ma'am. You can talk. Yeah. Sabina ma'am or Kalpana ma'am, both of you can talk. I enable you.
They are not talking.
Sabina.
Hello? Anybody else?
Dr. Dheeraj. Dr. Dheeraj, I have enabled you. Dr. Dheeraj.
Sorry, your enabling is not going, I think. They are not able to hear, maybe.
Wait, I will check servers.
Are they able to talk?
They can talk, sir, but I don't know what happened.
Okay, then they can send by chat. They can send an answer. We'll.
Yes, sir. One answer from Teamoli. Finding a technique to fulfill our future needs.
That is very vague. You are not clear. Your needs are not clear. Future needs are further not clear. So what is research? What are you doing? You are doing research, right? What is it?
Give the solution for problems. One more.
Okay.
Vidya.
Solution of problem. Is that all? What is the most important characteristic of research? Okay. Solution problem is okay. Yeah.
To find solution for unanswered questions.
Okay. What do you mean by unanswered question? Solution. Okay. So what does that mean? See, you are all playing with words. That's okay. I mean, initially it will be like that. So I want to make this absolutely clear. See, when you are doing research, what is it? Solving problem is okay. And you can say deeper understanding of a problem, okay, all that. But finally, see, you write all this in a paper, right? You send it to a journal. So I'm coming to the paper part, right? So what is the criteria the journal will accept your paper? Most important criteria. Any suggestion?
No, sir.
Without knowing that, how can you write a paper to a journal and get it accepted? So you have to be clear. See, this is the problem, right? We are all vague. We know we solve problems is okay. Okay. Any other viewpoints? They are not participating, sir. You give your view, sir. Any ideas? Whatever you have, you represent them. You please tell. Yeah.
Which sorry, sir. I am busy with the enabled peoples.
Okay. Any one of another volunteer can give any suggestion? Okay.
Sudarshan,
See,
sir, I enabled.
I can. Yeah.
Sudarshan, sir, I have enabled you.
Yeah, Basavaraj, you can talk.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please talk. Yeah.
Sir, I am delighted to be here, sir, to listen your words regarding what is research and what kind of research we can carry out. So, according to me, the research is the thing we can reveal the unknown things. So, before revealing the unknown things, we should gather the information about particular material. Say, for example, if you are working on a particular material, have a previously some knowledge about that, so that we can improve the things. So that is called research. It is not anything new, but we can just improve or we can tune the properties according to me.
No. Are you saying research is not new?
Yes, sir.
Research is not producing anything new. Is that what you are saying?
So it is producing a new material, sir. That's not. I'm saying about. So already there are two kinds of research. Sir. We can produce a new material and we can improve the further the capability of those materials. So both are same research only, sir, according to me.
Okay, fine. Any other point before I proceed? Any other point?
Sundarshan, sir, you are in live. You can talk.
You can proceed.
Yeah, sir. Good morning, sir. This is Sudarshan.
Yes.
Sir, can I answer now, sir?
Yeah. Go ahead. Waiting.
Sir, according to me, research is nothing but bringing out original mathematical result so that a complex problem becomes a simple solution.
Okay. So you are in your affiliation. Which discipline you are working?
Sir, I'm working in area of robotics, sir, at IIT Madras.
Okay. You are a PhD scholar?
Sorry, MS, sir. I completed MS.
Okay.
I'm yet to start my PhD.
Okay, research scholar. Okay. So I got some ideas or some viewpoints. That's fine. Let me go ahead and refine and define it now. See, you have all these ideas, no? They are not very clear cut. So I want to make it very clear. So I will start it with the quotation by Einstein. Okay, Einstein, how did he define research? If you know exactly what you are doing, then it is not research. You get it? So if you know what you are doing, then it is not research. That means what? When you do research, you have to produce something new. Very, very important. The paper gets accepted in a journal. The criteria is you are producing something new. So what does it mean? Suppose you are working in materials. Okay, I'll give an example. You are developing a material and nanomaterial something. Yeah? You have developed a material which nobody has done it. You are the first one to do it. Then that is new. Correct? Of course, that actually has some value, right? So that part comes later. So anything you produce new, that is the research. Okay. Now, if you work on a material and you claim, I have produced a new material, how can you claim that it is new? See, you are doing something, you're producing something new. I am saying, this is what I have found, this is new. If I want to claim this as new, what I should have done? Yeah, you tell me. See, I want to claim something as a new. Either it can be a product, it can be a process, it can be a software, it can be an idea, anything. In any domain you are working, you are producing something new. You want to claim that is new. If you want to claim that is new, what you should have done? Okay. Any answer? Okay, nobody is answering. I will answer myself. If you want, I think we will wait for the Q&A in the end. I think it's okay. So if you want to claim something is new, you should know what is current. See, you claim this material I have developed and you write a paper and send to a journal. The journal says so and so in that country has already done that, your paper will get rejected. Is it clear? If you want to claim something as new, you should know what is the current state of art in that area right now. Then only you can claim new. New means what? I am the first one to discover or find this, and I am reporting this. That's what you are claiming. If you want to claim something as new, you have to know what is current. How do you know what is current? That is why you do literature survey. Literature survey, if you do, you should know exactly the current state of art in that area. With respect to that, you can claim whatever you produce is something new. But the current state of art is not fixed, it's not static. Every day it is changing. You take VLSI. What is current today, after 10 days or a month, it becomes obsolete. So it is not only enough you should know what is current, you should track it during entire your research journey. The boundary is always changing. So when you are saying something new you are producing in any area, you are adding value to knowledge in that area. So when you do literature survey, you are finding the current boundary of knowledge in that area. And when you do your research, you are expanding the boundary further. Okay. It can be a quantum jump expansion, like superconductivity, maybe a quantum jump, or at least a small amount, incremental amount, epsilon. But definitely that epsilon has to be positive. So this is the main thing. So you can solve problem. I agree with that. Solve problem is okay. But when you solve the problem, you have to produce something new. So the litmus test for research is produce something new. That means what? It did not exist before you found it. You are the first person to find it. So this is the important characteristic for research. Is that clear? Okay. Now let me give the
Sir,
yes.
two people is
Yeah.
there. Anil Kumar and
Yeah,
Sam. You
yeah,
can
yeah. Ask them. Yeah, please.
Anil Kumar and Savina, you are joined with us.
Yeah. Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, good morning, madam. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, I agree with you whatever the research definition you have given to us, because anything should be done, it should give a positive some development, incremental value. That is called what, in my perception also, it can be either optimizing the existing solution, or you are telling that in an alternate way, instead of following this method, you can follow this method in a most cost effective, a sustainable solution should be given, can be termed as research.
Yes.
Because one thing is the research is first it will start one's own interest, and what the stakeholder is going to address, whether it should be an industry or socio-centric solution or a psychological problem, whatever he is giving the solution. In that manner, first we do a systematic study, what are the existing solutions and challenges we face. So seeing the challenges, we should try to give an answer in a positive manner.
Okay. 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 Let me.
That is my perspective.
Madam was asking some point.
Samira, you can ask.
Yeah.
So actually now I got connected. So I was basically defining that research, that we have to find out a solution for any problem. So whatever efforts we make, we need to make it in an understandable manner. We have to present it in a paper form. So that is a basic and most simple definition in my opinion.
Yeah, but it has to be new, madam. If it is not,
Exactly.
the paper will be rejected. That is the most important point. All the other things what you said is correct. You find something new, and not see. That's what I'm telling again and again. Doing the work is easy. Writing a paper is difficult because you had to communicate people working in that area and convince them that you have found something new, and the new thing you have found adds value to knowledge in that area.
Exactly. We need to expand the boundaries of the existing
correct.
knowledge domain.
That is the point.
Exactly.
Since we are on the topic, let me ask another question. So I'm talking about good research now. What do you mean by good research? Okay, I'll come to that. So you are doing research, right? It produces new, correct? Yeah, good research is one which you produce new and also does great things for society, correct? I will call like that. Very simple example I'll give. You are working for PhD. You produce something new, but it doesn't do any improvement to society. Will you get a PhD? Will you get a PhD? Yes, you will get. Okay, you are doing great things to society, but it is not new or it's not original. Will you get a PhD?
No.
No. Then what is good research or good PhD? You produce something new and also does very useful thing for society. A simple example, COVID. If you find a vaccine for COVID, that is new and it says immense service to society. So that is good research. Be very clear. As far as PhD is concerned, you are doing great things for society, reducing carbon dioxide in atmosphere. But the same thing has been done in US. You write a PhD thesis, I have done in Chennai, and write a thesis, they will not give PhD because it has been done by somebody else. You are changing only the condition. So this is very, very important. For PhD or for good research, what is your original contribution? Original means something new. So this is the problem. See, when you write a paper, as Madam said, doing the work is easy. But to write a paper, to bring out what is new in that, and also, you can't say it is new, but it doesn't add any value. No, they will throw it out. It is new, and it does the improvement to knowledge in the area. Suppose you are working in communication. You are developing a communication protocol. If you write a paper, I have found a new protocol, fine. Why should I prefer your protocol? That question will come immediate. So you have to say, compared to the existing methods, literature survey you should have done, compared to existing method, my method gives 30% more improvement in bandwidth, 40% in throughput, 20% reduction in power saving. You are expanding knowledge. See, when you write, you have to tell that message. See, what we are doing is writing is, we have done some work. We write that as a paper. That's not a technical report. That is a lab report you write. When you write a paper, you have to write the paper with a message. And very important, that message should be in the title. We don't do that. We write everything and put some title, studies on nickel cadmium batteries. So what does it mean? I don't know. I'm working in the area. I want to find out what is this. If you put a title like that, I will get turned off. So essentially what you are saying, I have done all the work, all the good things, bad things, everything is there. I don't know which one. You take whatever you want, you discard whatever you don't like. Never write a paper like that. Paper writing is not writing. It is designing a structure to convey the information that you have found something useful to the people working in that area. This is very important. And most of the time, this is what happens. You write the paper and send it, right? And the paper gets rejected. What is your first reaction as a human being? See, your paper gets rejected, you get the rejection letter. When you read the rejection letter, what is your first reaction?
Disappointment.
You will be sad and all. That's okay. But what is the first reaction? Madam?
Of course, sir, we start blaming the reviewer first of all.
Correct. You got it. You have had the experience. The first reaction is reviewer does not understand my work.
Yes.
That is not the point, madam. Reviewer is working in that area. So the problem is I have not communicated my work properly. Don't blame the reviewer. This is a very important point. So our communication is not proper. That is why reviewer is already in that area. He should have easily understood. Okay. So that's okay. That is natural. I also have gone through. So that is what I'm trying to come to you, saying that don't blame others, blame yourself and correct. Okay. Anyhow, let's proceed further. You saw that thing. The last bullet is important. All the other things are okay. If you submit a paper to a journal, the first thing I will see what is new. Okay, something new is there. How beneficial is that new thing? What is the value it is bringing to knowledge in that area? If it is a minor variation, they may not accept as a paper. Okay, so we can't do great, say like Einstein, E is equal to mc square. We can't do that. So we have to do incremental. That part is okay, but at least that incremental should be positive. Some extent it should be. You are expanding the boundary with that. Why? Because other people coming later will use your work to proceed further. How do they do that? Citation. That is an effective paper. So if you write a paper published now, the citation will be 0. You take a 3-year period or 5-year period and see how the citation increase. It will increase exponentially. If it is a good paper, it will increase exponentially. That means you are making an impact in the knowledge in that area. That is what they will look for. Okay. Any questions? Is that clear? Okay. Let me go next. What is an effective research paper? I already answered the question, right? What does the paper tells others working in that area? You have found something new in that area. Then, essentially, you are telling that you are expanding the knowledge. This is what Newton said, right? Newton, a lot of people went to Newton and told him, you have done great work. You know what he replied? He replied, I am standing on the shoulders of giants ahead of earlier to me. That is how the research science is advanced. So you do work, and based on that work, further people will do further, and the knowledge get expanded. So effective paper means what? Others are using your paper to expand the knowledge. Over time, your citation should increase. Okay, so that is the contribution. So you don't write a write-only paper. That's what I said. You write a paper and publish it, and nobody reads it, nobody cites it. Then what is the purpose? Of course, the purpose is you can pad up your CV with so many papers. See, that is why I said when you write a paper, you have to go to the journal, good journal. If you are when you are doing literature survey, you are looking at a lot of papers from a particular journal, right? The right way of writing a paper is to go to the same journal, because people are working in that area, more papers appearing in that area. So when you do the work and you make a contribution, you have to go to the same journal. That is the guideline, normally. Okay, is that clear? What is research? What is a paper? What is an effective paper? Now we are going to write the paper. I'm telling you again and again, Doing the work is easy. Writing the paper is difficult. Okay. Now let's go to the paper. So what is the technical writing? I'm just some slides to tell others what you found and how you found it. The second point you see here, to give others the benefit of your experience, also negative experience. So when you read a paper, you say all good things about your method, but you also point out the weakness of your method yourself. When the reviewer sees it, he thinks you are a balanced person. He is inclined to accept your paper more. So essentially, in a paper, good things will be 80%. Bad things can be 20%. 20% means what? My method, if the parameter is set plus minus 1, you are done actually well. But if the parameter is set plus 2 minus 2, it may not perform. You yourself point out that. So that is a new avenue for somebody else to find out. So minor deficiency of your method, you point out. You are making the critics, you are making them, you are unarming them actually. When he looks at it, this fellow is a very balanced person. He is also saying good things, also bad things himself. So he is a real scientist. Like that, they will think. If the bad things are 70%, good things are 20%, idea is you can't write a paper. Go and do the work. Whatever you do, writing will not help your results. Very important. Okay. Then the last thing is to give an indication where further work can go on. Okay. This is important. Okay. Now we get to the real nuts and problem, right? I am giving a skeleton of a research paper here. Correct? Paper consists of all this: title, abstract, introduction, methods or the problem, results, conclusions, acknowledgements. Very important. If your research is done with a funding agency, you have to acknowledge. Okay, we will discuss that later. References. Okay. Now, this is another question you guys have to answer. I have to get some answers here. So you have done the great work. Again, another point. You don't write a paper for any journal. You target a journal and write the paper for that journal. Very important. Okay, I gave a suggestion already. If you are referring to some papers in particular journals more often, likely chance is to go for those journals. Then people will appreciate that. Okay, so you are decided. I'm giving a scenario like this. Your work is top class. You are going to top journal. Everything is fine. Now you have got all the results, right? You have done experiments. You have done simulations. All the results. Everything is available. Now you have to put it into a paper. A skeleton of a paper is given like this. What is your first step? Where do you start writing? Or how will you start writing? You can share your experience. Some of you have written papers. Some of you have already published. In all this, you have all the results. Every figures, tables, everything is available. Now you have to start writing. Which is the first step you write? This is very important. Okay. Give me some ideas. I want to hear from the participants. What you are doing currently, that's what I'm asking. Don't think of, sir, this fellow is asking something and he has an ulterior motive behind this. No, I just want to hear, because I will point out what are the problems in that and then what is the right way of doing later. See, these are all right. You have to start writing. You have all the data. Where do you start?
So I think, sir, first of all, we try to project or we try to highlight what we should project in the paper. So the title should be reflecting of that fact.
How do you decide the title?
That needs time and that needs brainstorming also. You have to look upon what are the major achievements of your work, and that should get reflected in the title. And once the title get decided, then you have to frame the directions of your work. Okay, that means this is how you have to orient the whole paper in this direction. So
Okay.
deciding a title is very important and it takes a lot of time.
Okay, very good, madam. Any other comments? Any other views? Yeah,
Sudarshan sir joining, sir.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Sudarshan.
Sir, currently I'm working on a fast multiplier, sir. Actually, instead of going, generally, multiplication consists of moving from right to left.
Okay.
I hope you understood, sir.
No, that's fine. See, don't get into technical detail. See,
okay, sir.
Paper. So she said she will start from the title. When you are doing in your discipline, whatever you are thinking, where do you start? You already would have done some papers, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where do you start? How you have done?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I'm working on fast multiplier. So, okay, sir. I thought, okay, sir. The question, I think it's not relevant for me. Maybe I'll join in other discussion.
Okay. Any other viewpoints? Anybody says that they will write introduction. Anybody says they will write methods. I just want to hear like that. Yeah. Any suggestions? Any views? Okay. So, see, I think maybe the offline is the problem. Directly facing will be better. But let me give the idea. So, whatever the madam said is the right, but I think she knows the answer already. That's what I think. Nobody will tell like that. All the people will tell introduction, they will write. Okay. Even before doing all that, let me give the idea. First of all, you have all the results, right? All the figures, all the tables. First of all, you have to ask a question to yourself. Why am I writing the paper? What is the answer for that? I am writing a paper to convey something new that I have found and which is useful, correct? That is the idea of the paper. Now you have all the results, all the tables, but what is that message you want to convey will not be clear. So you have to break your head on that. You have all the tables, all the figures. Finally, a paper should have only one message, and that message has to be new, and the new message has to have value. This you have to decide first. I am writing the paper to convey a new message which adds value to this. So this is what you have to distill from all the results. If your results, there are 3 messages, write 3 different papers. One paper is one message. Very clear. Okay. Now that message is that I am developing example. I am developing a communication protocol which improves bandwidth, throughput, reduces power, all that, right? That, okay. Now you have to decide what is the message of the paper, and you start writing now the message. The message will not be in one line. You will write 4 or 5 lines, one para. So once you write that one para, which is the message, you have to reduce that to one line in the title. That is very difficult. You have to break your head. What madam said is correct. You have to think, brainstorm 4 or 5 days. Reduce that 4 or 5 lines, one para to one line, and put that line in the title. The title should be the message of the paper. See, you should ask a question as the writer. Why am I writing? I am writing to convey something new. As a reader, I am working in that area. Why should I read? I am reading because there is something new, valuable, so I want to go and read. If your title doesn't attract the reader, nobody will come inside and read the paper. It is writing captions for those people who follow Tamil, Dinatandi. You understand? Dinatandi, you see the title, great. Then you go and read, there is nothing inside. But the title should attract a person to come inside your paper. And inside the paper also should be value. So it is not writing, it is designing. The ads you see, right? When you're driving, you see a lot of ads in the side, right? They attract you. Then you go to the shop without knowing, you buy that product. Subconsciously, they go and affect. That is the idea of that thing. Forget about marketing. Here, you are writing a paper to communicate to the people working in that area. You have found something new, and that is very valuable. This is very important. Yeah, I'll give an example. You know Ramayana, you know Mahabharata, right? Okay, give me the story of Ramayana in one line. Give me the story of Mahabharata in one line. Anybody can tell? That is why you get PhD, right? PhD means philosopher. You are equivalent to a philosopher in thinking, in writing, in doing action, in speaking. All very, very important. What is the story of Ramayana in one line? Putting a title is very difficult. Anybody can answer? Yeah. So that is the point. Okay, Ramayana, I'll give you the answer, but after breaking your head, Ramayana, Ravana got destroyed because of his affection for ladies, something like that. Duryodhana got destroyed because of his affection or attraction towards land. Tamil sonna mannasai, pennasai. Very clear. Okay, your title should convey the message. Actually, if I ask the other way, I asked this in one class, research scholars, the answer. See, I also learned what is the message of Ramayana in one line. What is the message of Mahabharata in one line? The answer is, see, think, very difficult. Ramayana message is how a human being should live in this world. Rama is the example. Mahabharata, Duryodhana is the example. What is the message? How a human being should not live in this world. Okay, so these two are very important. So what I'm trying to say is, decide the title first. Take 4 or 5 days. Look at all your results and try to distill that message and put that in the title. Title means title and keywords, because nowadays the searching is done by keywords. If the keywords are missed, nobody will come to your paper. So you should have title and keywords properly done overall. Once you have done that, you now know the message, right? So when I look, now the message should be underlying the entire structure of the paper. Right. Now you have to start writing. Where do you start writing first? Any answer? Title is decided. Now you have all this thing, right? Abstract, introduction, all that thing. Which one you write first? Any answers? Any answers, please? Yeah.
Introduction and literature survey, sir.
Huh?
Introduction and literature survey.
Okay. Okay. Any other answer?
Somebody said abstract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abstract. So everybody will give another thing. Okay. All are wrong. I'm blunt. I'll tell you why. See, suppose you are going for an exam. You get a question paper. Question paper 1 to 6 is there, right? Question 1, question 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which question you answer first?
I know well.
Suppose that question is 5. Which one you write first? You write that question first, right? 5. Now look at this skeleton here. Which one you are very familiar?
Now, methods and results and discussion.
No, even before the methods, what you have done?
Yeah.
Results and discussion. So start with that. That is what you have done. See, introduction is very, very difficult because you have to do literature survey, what others have done, what is the weakness, how you are overcoming, all that. That's not important. Actually, if you get into introduction, it's a quicksand. You will spend all the time, will not come out properly. So do the one which you know, right? Results, right? Now I said results. You have all the figures, all the tables, write them clearly. And now I told you, you have already finalized the message. Your figure should reflect the message. So see, you may have to do cross plotting there. I give you example. your experiments have run, you got the pressure versus time, temperature versus time. But if your message can be conveyed properly by doing a cross plot, pressure versus temperature, do that. So design the figures and tables such that if somebody looks at the figure, the message of the paper is obvious. You need some work here. So once you have done that, you can write the results, because that is what you have spent 2 years and done the work. Write that first. Okay. So once you have done the results, what is the next logical step? Yeah.
Tippuswamy, you can talk, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, first you do the work what you have done, and what is the next step? Logically.
Tippuswamy, sir, you can talk. You are joined with us. You can enable mic and audio.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. They are not answering, sir. You can answer maybe. Yeah.
Sir?
Sir, you take the role. It's okay. Results. What is the logical next step?
After results, I will write literature service, sir.
No, you left it, sir. See, you think results, right? Your message of the paper, you have put the figure, you have put the table, message is there, right? You have finalized the title, then you have written the results, all that, right? Then what is the logically next one?
Conclusion,
sir. That's fine. Yeah. See, logically think. Conclusion. Conclusion means what? It is most of you. Again, I want to caution here. Most of the papers I have seen, conclusion they write the summary. Conclusion is not the summary. Very important. Conclusion is the message of the paper. Now I gave example. You develop a communication protocol, right? The conclusion should be, I have developed a protocol which is new, and it gives 30% improvement in bandwidth, 30%, 40% in throughput, and 20% reduction in power with numbers. The message should be in conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah, that is very important. That's what you have done, right? See,
sir, that we will done in result and discussion itself, no, sir.
Which one? Which one?
That percentage we will discuss in result and discussion part.
Yeah, but see, sir, fine. You discuss and all, right? I don't have time. I am reading the paper. The first thing I will read in the conclusion.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't go inside and read. So
Okay.
in the conclusion, what is the benefit of your method? You have to highlight with numbers, quantitative terms. Summary doesn't convey that. See, this is a mistake everybody makes. See, whatever you have done, you summarize in the conclusion and then that's leave it. No, conclusion should be message, and what is the benefit I am getting using your method should be clearly in numbers.
Okay. Can we repeat, sir?
Yeah. So,
already I written in result and discussion.
Yeah, you take that 2 lines and put it. See, in results and discussion, you would have justified based on all these curves, all that thing. You would have said this method gives all that, right? Repeating that in the conclusion is not a problem.
Okay, sir.
For people outside, they won't read the results. They will read only the conclusion.
Okay.
See, that message of the paper, that's why I said decide the title and the message. The message of the paper should come in the results and discussion, should come in the conclusion, should come in the abstract, should come in the intro. Everywhere it should be underlined. I'll say that. Okay, once you have done the conclusion, what is the next one? See, let me put the structure. Here. See, conclusion is the message. What is the next one? Summary. Where is the summary?
To go for abstract, sir.
Abstract. Correct. Abstract. Summary. You write the abstract. Now you are clear, right? So
Yeah.
what is the motivation for this work? Very briefly, and what is the contribution? Everything will come in abstract. Then the next, there are only 2, right? Introduction and methods. Which one will you write?
Methods, sir.
Yeah, methods. That's the point. Methods is now you have done the simulation, you have done the work, so you know the mathematics, you write that part. And finally come to introduction. Introduction is the most difficult part. Why? I'll tell you. Every introduction should have four different subparts, subsections. The first one is motivation. You can note it down. I not put in slide. Introduction should have motivation part. Why you did this work? Okay, motivation. Then immediately after that, I'm talking about a paper. Immediately after that, what others have done, literature survey should come. And what others have done, what is the weakness in that method? And then to overcome all this method, this earlier work, in this paper, I am proposing a new method. You have to explain your method. And also the contribution, the message of the paper. By my method, I improve the bandwidth by 40%. Something like that should be there. See, that is why that message is important. Message comes in title, conclusion, results, and intro. Contribution of the paper should be highlighted. And finally, how the paper is organized. That means section 2 gives the mathematical formulation. Section 3 describes the results. All that you can indicate. Finally, the conclusions are summarized in section 5. Motivation, earlier work, weakness of earlier work, and what your method based on that, what you are contributing here, and what is the contribution, and finally, how the paper is organized. So writing this is time consuming. And the most important problem is when you write the literature survey and all, you get into plagiarism problem. Because you take the material from the other paper and put it here. And when you check, you get 50% plagiarism. Very important. When you read some other paper, someone's paper, and you are going to use it, don't use the same sentences. When you read and understand, you write in your own words in your logbook and use that. So one way to avoid plagiarism is anything you write on your own words. Don't take from any paper, any internet, any material directly. Is very, very important. Okay, and when you write the introduction literature review, you will put appropriate references. Literature review goes with the references. And there is a lot of question. One question, how many references I put? Don't put too many references. If you put too many references, reviewer will think you don't know which is important. Whatever is necessary to explain your work, you give only that number of references. If you want to review an area, you want to give 20 papers there, don't do it. Do one survey paper for that. Putting more references shows your ignorance. Whatever references number is needed, give that. That's enough. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So it is still not over. See, this is just now this you have done this first draft, right? You means you and your advisor together. Don't. Then what is the next step you will do? I will ask. You say I will give to advisor. Don't bring that. When I say you means you and advisor. All that is happened. So you have done that. Then what is the next step you should do?
We will check the plagiarism.
No. Even before all that, you have to do. Okay. Any other what you should do? See, this is what I am saying. I am giving my tips. What one should do? Anybody? No suggestion? Okay. It becomes difficult. We can discuss that later. But let me give the idea. What you should do is you should keep. You have done the first draft, correct? Can you send it to the journal? Answer is no. No. Don't send. If you send it like Kumudam, you send a story, it comes back. It will come back. Then you send it on the Vedam, it will come back. Then send it to Kungumam. Your paper should not be like that. Never. Okay. The problem is with us, not the editors, reviewers. Okay. So once you have done the first draft, what you should do? This is my recommendation. Keep it aside. Don't think about the paper for 1 or 2 days. Correct? Come back on third day. Take the paper and start correcting it. Correct, assuming that the paper is written by somebody else. Start correcting. Why? Why the 2-day gap? Why the assumption that the paper is written by somebody else? Okay, I think I'll give the answer. No problem. Why 2 days break is your thought process should be interrupted. If you do immediately after that, you will be in the same mode. You won't find the mistake. Give a break, do something else, come back. You will find 100 things wrong in your paper. Then assume that it is written by somebody else, because we are good at finding fault of others, not our own. If your friend has given to you and you are correcting, you will find 100 mistakes. Take that role and correct. Okay, so you will find all the mistakes. So that part is done. Then will you send it to the journal? Answer is no. Sir said you have to check plagiarism, you have to check format, you have to check spelling mistakes, you have to check style, everything. But that comes later. Even before that, what you should do? You have corrected all paper. There are 2 steps you have to do. What are the 2 steps? Sir, can you suggest? We don't do that. That's why our paper gets into problem.
So, can we give the paper to our supervisor to
No,
verify?
your supervisor is part of it. Even that's what I assume. Normally you do that even before that. What you should do? Okay, anybody? Any participant? Anybody want to comment?
Yes, sir, I enabled
We are not doing this now. That's why the problem. What you should do? Sorry, are you getting any reply in the chat?
Yeah, no, sir, no reply.
Ah.
Should know journal guidelines like that only.
Yeah, that's all in the end. Journal format, guidelines, spelling, grammar, plagiarism, style, everything you have to check. Don't send it without doing. But that comes in the later steps. Even before that, these are the things we don't do that, and that's why our paper gets into problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any suggestion?
No, sir. No.
Nobody.
Read again, please. Read again, sir. They give an answer for read again.
Read again? No. Okay. I want to ask you a question. Of all the participants, how many are married? Can you get any idea? No.
No, sir.
Okay. I assume most of you or some of you are married. You should give this paper to your wife. And if the ladies are there, you should give it to your husband. Why?
They will find faults.
Okay, that is the straight answer. But why? They are good at finding fault of husbands. Yes, correct. Then there is a reason behind that. Any suggestion? Okay, you are not saying. I'll say why. You think you think she doesn't know anything in this area, right? That is the point. She is not in that area, but she may not be able to understand all your technical equations and all that thing. But you said you have a message, right? You have found something original, and that's what you have written. If she can find that original message, you have done an excellent job in writing. Okay, a person not in the area, if they can spot out your contribution, your writing is excellent. Then why wife? You can give it to any person not in the area, but that's a general statement. But who will read your paper? They are all busy people, right? So that's why you can't get within the schedule. At least you can give it to your wife, and you will go on saying, unless you give, my promotion will not come, all that thing. And to get rid of your nuisance, she will look at it and give you an idea. They are very smart people. Don't underestimate them. Very important. A person not in that area who can give you within the time schedule, and you can also bring out all your faults because they are living with it every day. They will find it out. And it also adds a value in the sense that up to that time she is thinking you are not really useless fellow. But after reading this paper, she may think, oh, this fellow also can do something original. That adds up to future relations. No, no, not joking. But
Jagadish, sir, you
you see the change. You see the change. It'll in your writing. It'll give it to a person not in that area. Get there. They cannot find out the equations and all, but they can get the message. If they can spot the message, you have done a good job. Okay. And then can you submit to journal? Answer is no. Give it to a technical friend, your colleague in the department. Why? Somebody has to check all the equations, all the theorems, all the formulas, all the proofs. So you give it to your, that person has to be in the technical area. And I call it trustworthy friend in the department. Very trustworthy. Your PhD work, you give it to him and he publishes. You are in trouble. So, but our friends are very useful. They will help out. Oh, this equation, this is wrong. This is, so you get, and then do you send it? No. Now you check all format, spelling, grammar, everything. There is a tool. So if the reviewer finds a lot of spelling, grammar mistakes, he gets irritated. His tendency is to reject the paper. Never put him in that position. Okay. So he thinks it is his work. He has written it. He doesn't take care of all these mistakes, silly things. Then you give a negative impression about you with the reviewer. Okay. So if you do that, then you submit, I guarantee your paper will be accepted. No paper is accepted as it is. Okay. Let me discuss that part. 4 or 5 parts. Any paper, accept as it is, accept with minor revision, accept with major revision, do some more work and submit later, reject. You should never get into the last 3 or 4 parts. Accept with minor revision, excellent job. No paper is accepted as it is, whoever it is. Reviewer's job is to ask questions. See, don't assume reviewer will say good things. He will say good things later. His job is to find problems, faults. Okay, so you prepare for that and do that. Okay, so if you do all that, I guarantee your paper will be accepted with minor revision. So the essential message is revise, revise, revise. Don't send. The first draft you do, the final draft you submit, in between 40, 50 revisions will happen. I have done it and I am doing it. Don't send the paper unless you are confident. Reviewer cannot put his hand in the paper and say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is spelling mistake. Nothing. Even with all that, we can still make mistake. That is human. We can't control that. But at least ensure that when the paper goes, you are confident that what you are saying there is error-free. This discipline is important. Okay. Any question? I will run through the slides and the talk is more or less over. Okay. Any questions? We will come to the questions in the end if you want. Okay. So this is what I said. Okay. To summarize, start with the results. Decide the title first. Spend 4 or 5 days. It's very difficult in the beginning. The first paper is like first baby delivery. Second, third will be easier. Fourth and fifth will become natural to you. So don't worry about getting more papers and all. Do the first paper right. And especially for a research scholar, that is very, very important. Yeah. So decide the title. Then I'm summarizing here. Decide the title. Write the results and discussion. That's what you have done. Logically, you conclude. Go to the conclusion. Once you have done the message and all, then you summarize, abstract. Then you go to the methods because that's what you have done. And come to the introduction in the end. Introduction will take some time. And you have to put appropriate references. You have to write about them on your own words. And you have to write about the weakness of the other methods. See, if you in the figure also, results also, if you say I have developed a method and give your result, they will not accept the paper. The immediate question is, how does it compare with the existing methods? You have to put that. Existing methods are like this. My method gives, this is the value addition. You have to show that. It is not like a what you have done. See, most of us, we write the paper, this is what I have done, this is the result. No. Why? What is new in this? Why it is beneficial? Why you have done that? All that you have to write. Okay. Okay. The next one, there are two things very important. One is mathematics, another is English. You have a lot of results and no model, the paper will be rejected. Experimental work, lot of results. They will say, based on this, what is the mathematical model? And you have a mathematical thing, but you show one example with the first order, second order, they will throw, and especially if it is a networking problem, how does it scale up? So a combination of both mathematics and English appropriate is very, very important, depending on your type of work. Okay. Okay. Now you see here, you can read it yourself. Readability, and slowly it will come. Initially it is difficult, and the more you write, the better you become. Writing is very difficult. That's what I'm saying again and again. Easy to do the work. Yeah. This you can read. Let me finish it. Go to the next one. There are 4 steps. You prepare, organize, composing, and revising. And I said again and again, paper writing, the mantra is revise, revise, revise. Don't submit. Okay. Now preparing means what? Get all the material, right? Preparing and organizing. You have got all the experimental results. You have got the tables. You have got the figure. Access reader. To whom you are writing? If it is a transaction for people working in that area, what is your goal? I have found something new which improves the performance. Keep the main points in mind. So this is more like for thesis, there will be 3 or 4 points, but in a paper, 1 point. And organizing, in a thesis, make an outline. Nothing wrong in paper also, you can think of an outline. How you want to present. This is what I call designing. Designing the structure of a paper. That's important. Okay. Composing. Now you get to write into sentences. Write always simple sentences. Don't write long sentences. Notation. Again, the problem. See, the symbols, what you use, whatever is the convention, don't go against that. People will get a lot of questions on that. Sentences, simple ones are better. Then, very important, if you are using somebody's work to proceed further, you have to cite that paper. If you don't cite, you are claiming that that work is done by you, and that is plagiarism. Very, very important. If you are using somebody's work which helps you in progressing further, you have to cite. Very important. Formulas. Okay. And the figure, I told you, no? Every figure should be explained clearly. You can't say figure 4 to 6 gives the performance. Wave your hand. No. Every figure. What is x-axis? What is y-axis? What are the curves? How they behave? And finally, what is the message of the figure? Table also. What are the columns? What are the results? And finally, what is the message of the table? So I said you have decided the message of the paper in the title, right? That message should be clear in the figure, because I don't have time to read. I will look at the figure. The message, if it is obvious, I know this is a good contribution. Very deliberately, systematically, you have to do for figures. Most of the time, I find figures are waved just by hands. Why are you putting the figure? There should be a message for a figure. You have to point out. Very important. Okay. Then figure is better than 1,000 words. All that. Revise. Okay. This is what I said. Read the draft after some time. Read the draft as it is written by others. Proofread. Yeah. Citation. If you give a citation, you should go and check the reference. It should be there, because the references should be in public domain. The idea of giving a reference in a paper, don't believe in my work. Anybody can take the reference and they can do independently and then check whether he got the same result as yours. That is the purpose of reference. You give a reference, I go and find there is no such reference, you are in trouble. Plagiarism. You had to systematically do. And also, when you write about a reference in your paper, that is what the paper said. Don't take from some other paper and put what they have said. You have to read. Any paper you cite as reference, you should have read that and put that correct thing in the writing the paper. Without you reading the paper, don't put that as reference. You will be caught. Read with one rule at a time. Get someone to read for you. I already mentioned. Plan on rewriting 3 or 4 times. No, 30, 40 times it happens. So don't send it. And you can keep all these revisions properly and all. Very powerful IT tools are available. I'm going to show that and close it. Okay. So this is the very basic guideline. So general comments. Bad thinking never produces good writing. Good writing, the more you write, thinking becomes clear. The more thinking becomes clear, writing becomes clear. So it's a catch-22 situation. Okay, these are all the general guidelines you can read. I will circulate all these slides to the professor. They will circulate to you later. No problem. You can get it all. Okay. The next one is, some of you, this is for writing. One of the problems we get in Indian authors is English. Most of the review comments are, give it to a native English speaker and get it corrected. All that. So these tools are available. The first 3, it's like a website. You can put 3 lines and check it. It'll check the grammar. It'll check the style and all. For spelling also it is there. The bottom one is software. So anything you write, you have to get it checked through this. A lot of tools are available now for researchers. I'm not saying, I think some of them are free only. That's what I have put here, but you can go and check. So they are available. And the next one is very important. That is for plagiarism. The first 3 are in website, IEEE and all, you have to do it. I don't know your college, universities, IITs have most of them. The last 2 are softwares. I think they are free. You can download, and anything you can run through this. Check it. Grammarly also is there. I didn't put it. So you can do all that. So check your style, check your grammar, check your plagiarism, check your spelling before submitting. And follow the journal guidelines. You can do all that later at the end. But get the, see, it is like, also look at the flash. That's very important. Okay. And I think the last slide, very powerful tools are available. Online, you can do a Google. Online tools for researchers. Do your Google on that. Plenty for writing, literature survey, for managing your references. I didn't talk about all that. Managing your references, writing, and also doing projects, sharing data. All kind of tools are, somebody has put them all together. The site is called connectedresearchers.com. Be aware of this. See, we are all going to Stone Age. Every day, researchers are putting tools which helps the productivity of the researchers. And there is another one, Academic Research Toolbox. Again, they have summarized, also given. I will send you the thing along with the slides. But this one you can get. I'm not saying use all of them. There are plenty. You find out in your context which one is useful to you. Take that and start using it. So you can't send a paper with grammar error, style error, spelling error, plagiarism error. All this can be removed now. But the message of the paper and all, you have to do it. That's why I said, spend time on that first. Get it proper. And then, of course, you have to do all this. Okay? So with that, I think we will do. I started at 10, and what is the time now? 11:20. Okay, free for all. I hope you got the message. Again, to summarize, to close, decide the message of the paper, what you want to convey as original. And then when you write the paper, write from results, which you have done, logically conclusion, then abstract, then the method, and intro is final. Try to follow that. I'm not saying do it slowly, you try. First paper will be difficult. Second paper will be little easier. I guarantee by third or fourth paper, you get the thing and it becomes a habit. Okay. I think, thank you for listening to me patiently. I will open now for questions. Any question? Sir, you can activate now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you have any questions, you can talk with us also. You can join with us and ask questions. Just give request to speak. So in between, some questions in chat box.
Yeah, please tell us. Yeah.
What is the difference between journal and conference paper?
Very good question. If you are doing PhD, I will ask the thing. See, but I think if the interaction is there, that's better. Which one you write first? See, you are doing PhD. You got the first work, first paper. You have the material. Will you go to your conference or will you go to your journal?
Conferences.
Why? You have to give the reasons. Why?
So I will explain my idea to lot of peoples. They will suggest some ideas to improve my work.
Sir, you are correct, absolutely correct. The good way of doing, especially for PhD students, the first paper, you go to a conference. The advantage is, see, up to the time you think you have done great work, right? So your paper will be discussed, criticized in a conference. So it is like all the questions are out before the exam, right? Like that, you go to a conference, the people working on that area will come and ask questions. You can come back and fill up all the gaps and write the paper and submit to journal. Well-known conference, if you go, well-known IEEE international conferences, if you go, the person who asks the question in the conference may be the reviewer of your paper. It happens. So, and especially for PhD students, he will save you 6 months of time because he has worked in that area. He will say this doesn't work and this, so many people have done like this. All that will be very useful. That is the main point. Get your paper criticized. Find out the loopholes. Come back and fill it up. There are other advantages. So you have done, right? Before you submit the journal and then the paper comes in journal, somebody else may get the idea and publish. At least conference, it is short review time and you get your name registered with that work. First credit is very, very important. If a conference accepts, even if somebody comes, they have to cite that paper first. You get credit for the work at the earliest. So in my area, communication control, signal processing and all, the paper, fill up all the loopholes, weaknesses, all that, and then submit to your journal. Okay, this is normal. But there are hot areas like nano area, bio, life science area, or COVID also like this. If you're doing something, if you go to a conference and then come and write a journal, by the time somebody would have published. Hot areas, very important. You take both of them in parallel. You submit to conference, you get the credit earlier. At the same time, submit to the journal also. Why? The credit for journal submission is based on date of submission. When you submit, not the paper appearing. Paper appearing is already old. Date of first submission is important. So hot areas like nanotechnology, nanomaterial, nano devices, life sciences, like this vaccine thing, all that you have to protect your interest. At the same time, you have to publish in a journal also. Do that in parallel. But for other engineering areas, I would suggest go to the conference first and then go to the journal. Your paper will get improved. And when you go to the journal, some of you are asking question, can I publish the same conference paper in a journal? No, because the journal will not accept. Even in the same society, it will undergo modification. When you write to journal, you can mention and cite the conference paper. Preliminary version of this work was presented in the conference. Put that.
I think SAR has network issue, but please wait for 2 minutes. So, 2 minutes, I will ask SAR to rejoin.
Hello?
Okay, SAR again joined.
My internet went off. Let me get the chats. Some questions are there. I saw it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Turn video on.
We can hear.
Yeah. Okay. Chats. Sir, chats. Oh, my other one is gone. Sir, can you give me that question? I saw.
So I will give, sir. What are the tips to impress the viewers for positive results?
What is that? Can you repeat?
What are the tips to impress the reviewers?
Impress the reviewers. Okay, sir. Your first of all, this is that's what I'm saying. Your new contribution, you have to highlight that very clearly. What is new? What is original in your work? I mean, it can be new, but it doesn't improve anything. That is not useful. So it should be new and also add value. So normally that's what we look for in as a reviewer. So if you can clearly point out that, reviewer will really accept it. Reviewer will accept. Now I want to tell you, all the ladies should pardon me, but once I give this example, you will understand. A reviewer is like a mother-in-law. What do you mean by that? Yeah, author is like a daughter-in-law. Now you get the picture, right? Whatever the daughter-in-law does, mother-in-law will say it's always wrong in front of her. But to somebody else, she will say, my daughter-in-law is great. Why? Reviewer is telling the faults all the time. Why? To improve the quality of your work. That is the main purpose. Okay? So if you take it in the right spirit, then you will see the psychology. So try to do as much as you can so that a reviewer cannot find out a mistake. I know the psychology and all we can discuss, but not in this thing. Why mother-in-law always finds fault with the daughter-in-law? Same thing applies for reviewer and author. So my advice to authors are, don't assume the reviewers will accept the paper as it is. No, reviewer job is to find the fault. Your job is not to let the reviewer find any fault in your paper. Be clear. So the contribution has to be clear. Okay. I don't know whether I answered or not, but this is my thing.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm seeing the chat. Let me see.
Yeah.
Madam Vidya, I have simulated antenna design without the fabrication. Reviewer can accept that paper for journal publication. Okay, this is a question, right? You have a simulation alone. I don't have experimental work. Can the paper be accepted? See, maybe in the earlier days, when the area was new, simulation is okay. Nowadays, no. They will ask analysis, simulation, and experimental work. Why? The experiments, when you do it, it will not work according to simulation, always. Simulation is ideal. I can do any simulation and show it works beautiful. When we do in real hardware, you will see all the problem. And based on that, you will correct the simulation model. A good paper, forget about analysis. Analysis, you can say, your good paper is simulation followed by with experimental work. And finally, very important, how far the experiment work deviated from simulation and the reason why, how you are going to improve that for hardware. They will ask all these questions. I understand your problem. Fabrication, you don't have visibility, whether you can do it and all. My suggestion is go to a facility where you can do it and test it with their help. Sir, second question, Satish, I saw that. In hot areas like COVID, how work of engineer is accepted by medical community? Very good question. So when you publish papers like that, better to get the medical people inside the paper also. You may have found out some results. Very good in computer science area, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all that. We have done it. Actually, I'm writing a paper now. COVID, detection with X-rays. Yeah, a lot of people are doing. And when you go and talk to a doctor, and whatever he is saying, he says irrelevant, then that's it. That paper is useless. You see, this is very important, right? We do all the time. The user should come inside, and his problem you should try to solve, not your problem, and give it to the user. Okay? Nothing wrong in that. You do your work and get it vetted by a doctor in that area and find out whether it is meaningful or value addition in that area. If it is not, come back, get the questions out from him and try to solve that. So very, very important, not only medical, interdisciplinary area. I am working in control with biology. I can't publish a paper in control and biology myself. I need a biology who can say whatever doing is sensible or not sensible. Very, very important. The team is important. Nowadays, all new contributions are coming from interdisciplinary areas. That's why you see 4 or 5 authors in a paper. Okay. Importance of mathematics in a paper. Very good, madam. Very important. I would say, if your mathematics is very complicated and complex, likely chance of acceptance of the paper. I say directly proportional. A paper acceptance is directly proportional to the mathematics used in the paper. If you use Lie algebra, Lie bracket and all, you know why? I jokingly I say, reviewer doesn't know this mathematics. He thinks it is a very exotic way. He thinks it is correct. Oh, this fellow is using great mathematics, so you should be correct. I'm just joking. But it is true. See, mathematics is queen of all sciences. You have to write 10 pages. You can do with 1 page of mathematical equation, theorem, and proof and all that. So that is why any paper, somebody asks, simulation, experiment, right? And mathematics, model. Very important. A good paper has all the 3 parts. A mathematical analysis, simulation, and experimental.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
Can we submit the same paper simultaneously to 2 different journals?
That is another point. See, this is another question they ask. Can you submit, because you want to save time, right? So you don't know how long it will take for the review. So what I call is you do a parallel processing, correct?
Yes,
First
sir.
of all, this happened. I give you a story also. I'm familiar with that. It happened in top journal, physics. So, okay. First of all, is it ethically correct? You have done the paper. Can you submit it to 2 journals in parallel? Can you do it?
No.
No, ethically it is not correct. It is not correct. You should do sequentially only. You should send it to one, and if it is rejected, then you can modify and send it to another. Don't do that in parallel. Advice. Why? You can send it to 2 journals in parallel. Nobody will find it. But you will be caught. Why? It will end up in the same reviewer. I have done it. I mean, I have not done 2 parallel. I am the reviewer. I got one paper which I am reviewing. After 2 weeks, I got another paper from another journal, and it is the same paper. Reviewer will catch you. You can cheat some other people some of the time. You can't cheat all the people all the time. You will be got. Satyameva jayate. Boy meye billum. Very important. Don't do that. And to come out of all these mess problems, very, very difficult. Immediately the editor will ban you for 3 years. No submission. Reviewer, actually, see, I didn't realize it. When I started reading, it says something is very familiar. I go and check my files. The same paper came to some other journal 1 month back. So the reviewer will catch. Now the story is, it happened in physics. Physical review letters, one paper came, accepted. Then that fellow submitted to Nature also. Okay, the first paper accepted, so he accepted. Second paper, the same paper submitted to another journal, Nature, higher prestigious journal. Acceptance came after 1 month. What you should have done? Now you see the problem.
Nature.
He wanted Nature, so this fellow accepted that also. So what happened? Same paper appeared in both journals. That's okay. After 1 month, one reader wrote to the journal editor. So how come the same paper appears and the editor checked the same paper? You know what he did, editor? He didn't write to the author. He wrote to the president of the university. In your university, people are doing like this. What is going on? It is a shame for the university. University took it serious, and they investigated and put a committee and asked. The supervisor said, "I didn't know." Can you say like that? It's a PhD student, first paper. Supervisor says, "I didn't know the student has done it." You can't escape. Okay, the student asked. He was about to graduate. The university warned him seriously, and he escaped only on one condition. What is the condition, right? Condition is student wanted to get the time like this, and that is why he did, because nobody will be dumb enough to put the same paper in 2 journals. When they looked at the paper, it's the same. If the plagiarism is the point, it's cheating is the point, you could have rewritten the paper with the same message in a different way and submitted. His intention was not to cheat, but intention was to do the time-wise earlier. That is why they gave the benefit of doubt to the student and warned him not to repeat. Of course, the faculty cannot leave his responsibility. He was punished, like promotion, increment, and all that, bond. So never do that. So ethical problems, if you get into, and you have taken some material and passed it off as your material, you will be in trouble. They will catch. And to come out of that is very serious problem. Messy. Okay. Any other question? I see.
Same question.
What is the probable period for direct journal? No, you can go to direct journal. The problem is, see, this is a problem with us. See, we do some work, we write a paper, we think we have done fantastic work, right? This is what I say. In PhD, this is another quote. PhD, your ego is killed with vengeance in PhD. You think you have done great. You talk to your advisor, he will puncture it. Then you write a paper and send it to reviewer will puncture it. So you become what you call thick-skinned. Take criticism in its right way. They are all telling all that to improve the paper. So you can go to the journal directly, and the comments are very serious. You are in a problem. You can get it, modify it, and do it, but the problem is time. You are wasting a lot of time. So my general advice is, get your paper criticized internally. That's why I said give it to a wife, all that thing. Get it criticized by knowledgeable people, not knowledgeable people for the message. And once you have done that and corrected all, you will be 90% confident reviewer will not reject. Don't submit as this. Probable period for direct journal depends on journal. If you are submitting for COVID now, They are saying fast track. They will, because see that's why I'm saying something in BLSI also. Technology is changing so fast. So if they're asking for COVID, we are also submitting a paper like that. COVID-19, any diagnostic, any biological, a lot of computer science people are working in that area, image processing, whether they can get better results and accuracies, all that thing. They have a fast track within 15 days, 1 month and all. So if your thing, you can do it, submit it and see it. So then whatever I said is not very relevant. Go to a conference and all. For COVID, where you can go? The only solution is journal, right? Go direct. Extraordinary situations call extraordinary work actions. Okay. Any other point? I see all is covered.
Yes, sir. All topics are covered.
Okay, I think we can close, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to wish, thank you for participating. I would really love to do this face to face. That is where I get all the body, what do you call, body language, reactions, all, and you also understand. Unfortunately, we cannot do that, but at least you got the message. And I wish to thank the organizers, Professor, and all the other people to make this happen. Of course, you have my email. You can correspond. All the slides and all I'm forwarding to Professor right now. So he will circulate. So if you have any questions, you can reach me later. And all the best in your research work. And all the best in your paper publishing. Yeah. Okay. With that, I will sign off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank
you
you.
want to say something?
Yes. Thank you very much for detailed explanation, sir. Thank you. I hope all researchers and faculties got the information. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Dear faculties, hope you all enjoyed and get some information about research, how to write effective research papers and how to publish the papers. Okay. Afternoon session, we're going to start at 2 o'clock. It will end at 4 o'clock because 2 experts will come consequently. Okay. 2 to 3, Ankesh, and 3 to 4, Dr. Mervin. So both of them will take continuously. So we join at 1:55 exactly. We will start at early and complete as quick as possible. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll meet at 2 o'clock. Thank you.